Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful to be with you tonight. I know that we're in for an exciting evening. I was about to start off and say it's Wednesday, it's 7 p.m. South African time, or I think it's 6 GM time, and it's the MAP chat show. And tonight we've got Glenn McQuirk, the founder of Map for Life, talking to us tonight, and he's going to be presenting the 12 important P's in life. So we welcome Glenn McQuirk to the show. Thank you.
Well, good evening. This is a really, really exciting day of the week, and I look forward to every Wednesday, and I hope that you also look forward to being part of this show, because one day, not in the too distant future, we're going to be meeting like this every hour of every day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. And if you're watching tonight, you could be one of those people who hosts a map show. Today, I'm going to be speaking to you about a subject that I'm really passionate about, and that is, of course, the word purpose. And I remember so clearly when I was taking the Map for Life book to a place where one of our panelists is from this evening. I went down to a printer in the city of East London, and I took my manuscript there and asked if they would be able to print this book. And of course, the answer was yes, like any good business person. And the one thing I realized after the printing process had begun was I had not actually declared what my mission statement was. And so I quickly went and I wrote my mission statement to incorporate it in the book. And it read like this: to equip people to pursue their purpose with passion and perseverance for life. So purpose has been very central to Map for Life since the very beginning. And I want to remind you this evening that every single thing that exists is born for purpose. It doesn't matter whether it's the chair you're sitting on, the device that you're using to watch tonight's show, everything had a purpose in mind when it was created. And if that is how you and I create things, then we have to conclude that we too were born for purpose. And I think this is the great quest of every human being. In fact, children demonstrate the absolute necessity of this one thing called purpose by asking the question, why? And they ask that question over and over again until the day they begin school. And as soon as they begin to go to school, the question why is almost beaten out of them and replaced with the one called how. And as a result, doubt creeps in, and they begin to think that maybe, just maybe, they were not born for purpose, and they need to go and find something out there. I want to tell you that when you are created and you are born for purpose, everything you need is already within you. You don't need to go and skill yourself because you have been gifted. And so purpose is central to our theme this evening. You know, when purpose is driven by something. Purpose is driven by a need. And so the word that I've used this evening is to say that what purpose is about is solving other people's problems. You have not come to solve your problem. Purpose has got nothing to do with you. So many people are living their life, they're doing all kinds of things to make themselves look good. They even drop names and say, I know the CEO of this company, to try and elevate themselves. I want to tell you this evening that purpose is not about you, it's about others. So when we start talking about purpose, and the reason I've used the word solve their problem is because we are interested in this word significance. And so you have come here to meet a need. The world defines the need as a problem, but I want you to see the need as something that connects with the meaning and the very reason for your existence. So you and I were purposed to meet a need, which the world defines as a problem. When you are born for purpose, it causes you to begin to see things that other people do not see. You know, when I was preparing this talk, and I say preparing this talk because I've been thinking about the concept for quite some time, I was watching a movie called Mission Impossible. Have you watched that movie or those series of movies? You may know the actor Tom Cruise, who acts as Ethan Hunt. And what I love about that particular movie, when I think about it in the context of purpose, there's always a beginning. And in the beginning, there's a statement that goes something like this: your mission, should you accept it? And then they go and they present the mission. And immediately after the mission is presented, there's a recording that says, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. And when I think about purpose, I just wonder whether you have not perhaps had a moment in your life when you've had a sense that you were born for a particular purpose, and it was a window of opportunity for you to get insight into that reason for which you were created. You see, when you get that insight, you need to paint the picture. You need to get clarity on the vision. You need to be putting it in front of you non-stop so that you can see it and be inspired by it. I want to just encourage you to go back in your life and just seek out that moment when maybe you captured that vision. Because what I have experienced in my own life is that window of opening is almost like that movie of Mission Impossible, where the mission is declared, and it's almost as if God is saying, your mission, should you accept it, is, and you will not hear that mission again. So maybe you should just go back and re-listen to the tape that's been playing in your mind. You see, when you've painted that picture, the next important thing is to prepare. Les Brown says, it is better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Every single day and moment of our life should be a moment of preparation, preparing for the opportunity that you've been praying for, that you've been hoping for, that you've been dreaming about. Preparation is key. So many people are sitting back and waiting for their ship to come in, but they can't sail a ship yet. They've never spent the time learning to be the skipper, and you are the skipper of the ship. So let's be a people of preparation, people prepared, ready for any and every opportunity aligned with our purpose that comes our way. You know, when you are prepared, the next step is to activate the program and follow the process. You just get with the program. what I like about Map for Life is that it provides a process, a method that you can follow. And in following that process, in following that method, your provision begins to unravel right in front of you. I've been talking to Peter about the idea. You know something, Ngwadi is going to be joining us later on, and he has been engaged in the church environment. And what I find very interesting in the church, they talk about planting a church. But today, most people build a church. What we are going to do in Map for Life is we are literally going to go and plant the schools of leadership. And I'm excited about that. And I've been talking to people about the idea of planting palm trees. And this evening, just an hour ago, I was able to collect a whole packet full of seed that's going to produce palm trees freely off the ground. And you know, when it comes to purpose, you will begin to find every resource that you need right in front of your own eyes. When you've painted the picture, when you get with the program, when you follow the process, things begin to happen. I want to say to you this evening that action is potence. Now, you know, when we talk about potency, when we talk about power, when we talk about potential, all of these kind of words, it comes back to action. Potential is, I learned at school, potential energy is something that may happen, that could happen. But until something moves or pushes to convert that potential energy into kinetic energy, nothing happens. And maybe you're sitting on the edge of a precipice, waiting, not realizing that if you just step off that precipice and you stretch out your wings, you were born to fly. And so this idea of taking action, it is your power. In fact, when you take a step, it enables you to experience and see the result of performance in your life. Too many people are fearful of taking that step of faith. And I'm just praying that tonight is going to be your night to take that step of faith. I say tonight, but because that's where I'm at right now. But you might be somewhere at sunrise. You might be in a place where it is midday. Wherever you are, I want you to open your eyes, the eyes of your mind, and see the unfolding future that's coming your way when you begin to step in faith. You see, when you step, it's also about constant pursuit. It's about diligence. It's about consistently getting up in the morning and doing what you need to do in order to reach your vision, irrespective of the view that others might have, irrespective of the criticism that may come your way, irrespective of the struggles you may be experiencing. Consistency beats ability all the time. And so consistency is absolutely key when it comes to purpose, and consistency in pursuit of that one thing that you have been called or sent to do. You see, when you begin to consistently pursue your purpose, you become alive with passion. Passion begins to bubble out of you. Passion is contagious. Passion ignites something inside of you that nothing else can. But not only does it ignite something in you, when you are connected or surrounded or in the presence of somebody who is passionate, you cannot help become passionate yourself. Passion breeds passion. Passion brings life to a dead world. Passion brings life to people who have no hope. Purpose and passion, as I've said before, are Siamese twins. This might all sound exciting about being consistent, about passion, but I want to remind you that consistency along with passion, enables you to be patient. Sometimes we want to rush things. We want to see the result now. I want to tell you, when you understand the way the world has been set up, you begin to realize that you can plant something today that's going to grow for generation upon generation upon generation. I was listening to someone earlier this very day saying that they didn't have the patience to wait 20 years for something to grow. I want to tell you, if you have the patience, something incredible is going to exist as the result of your life. But if you're chasing quick results, if you're wanting quick rich schemes, if you want to talk about all those things that are going to make you look better than others, you're going to miss the most powerful opportunity that you've been given, and that is to sow your life into the hearts and minds of others. Because when you do that, you will literally be keeping the promise of the purpose that was placed in you before the day you were born. I see purpose as God's promise to you that your life matters, that everything necessary for that purpose is already provided for. All he's waiting is for you and I to keep the promise from our side, to say yes to the mission and to follow through. And how do we do that? We do that in the present. We do that in the now. We do it today, not tomorrow, not next week. We quit the disease of excusitis. We stop looking for reasons why we should not do something. We start seeking out every possible opportunity to engage with that which we know is necessary to impact the lives and meet the need for which we were created. I think, in fact, I don't think, I believe that when you and I connect with our original mandate, then our Creator has those words waiting for us when we get recalled one day. And he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." There's something about this process of purpose that is pleasing. And when I look at our panel this evening, I know that in their heart, they are excited about connecting with their purpose. And not only that, they are even more excited about helping you to connect with yours. And so I would like to encourage you, if you do not already have a copy of Map for Life, if you are not already connected with a Map Club, if you are not engaged, join us. Because when you do, you're going to begin to understand this concept of being born for purpose. I've enjoyed sharing with you tonight. I'm excited about this talk because I can see it developing into great things. I know that those of you who listen this evening have got some little nuggets that you can use and develop and to be able to share and to speak to others every day. Let's go and do that. I'm really looking forward to the panel discussion this evening. And I also look forward to seeing you every Wednesday at 7. Have a wonderful evening further. I'll be handing back to Peter in a moment.
I told you it was going to be exciting. Thank you, Glenn. That was really something else. I in 2000, or in fact, it was in 1999, I got this book, Your History in the Making. And there, as Glenn said, he wrote his mission statement to equip people to pursue their purpose with passion and perseverance for life. That was in 1999. I've been an ardent, passionate supporter of Map for Life ever since then. Map for Life changed my life, and I became passionate about using it as a tool to help other people find their purpose and develop a passion for life. And I was just, as Glenn was talking, I was just looking at a book here on my desk, and it's called A Quest for More, Living for Something Bigger Than You. That was what Glenn was talking about tonight, something bigger than each one of us. And we've got a wonderful panel. We've got Gwadi from East London. And Gwadi also spent time studying in the UK. And in those days, it was West London as opposed to East London now. And Gwadi, I'd just love to hear you talk about your purpose and how Map for Life has helped you on your quest for purpose.
Good evening, Peter, and my colleagues, the other mappers and the viewers. Peter, when I first started to know about Map for Life, I think it was around about 2012, when I met with Glenn on his father's farm near Trinza East. And apparently it was the first time to hear about Map for Life. And then he gave me the first copy, one of the copies, and then so that I can go through it. When it comes to purpose, as you have been asking that question, in terms of Map for Life, my purpose was to be amongst the 3% in the world who have done Map for Life and also implement it. If you look at my roadmap or vision board, that's my purpose as it is hanging now. When you enter my house, I've got that vision board which is hanging there, and then also my mission in actual fact, when I think in this purpose, in order to fulfill it, I decided that I think it's important for me to equip myself by attending the training in Pretoria for a weekend. I think I attended it sometime in 2016 or 2017, so that I make sure that in actual fact I understand what I want to embark on. I would say that this is a good tool, but what I've noted for me, out of this whole Map for Life, which has got various steps, that is about all the 5 steps, but what I've noted is that I first tackled the last part, which is I think where you control your money. That is the get out of debt plan. This is what I would say today I learned out of Map for Life. The get out of debt plan. In so much that it's a good plan, which I learned out of this Map for Life technique or tool, which is, for instance, I also taught my niece that plan. And then it was hardly when she started working, it was hardly 4 years. She visited me from PE, showing me that she has bought a flat out of what I've, in actual fact, I've taken it through in terms of get out of flat plan. So for me, so far, what I've benefited out of it is the get out of that plan. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now let's bring Octavia in. Octavia's in Pretoria or Montana.
Yes.
Octavia, would you like to tell us about your purpose and how Map for Life has helped you on your journey on establishing purpose?
Fantastic, Peter. Thank you so much. You know, every time I listen to Glenn, it feels like I'm listening to him for the first time, collecting diamonds all the time. Godi, thank you so much for sharing. I came across with Map for Life in 2009 when I was just appointed as a manager in corporate, right? And I needed an outside mentor to mentor me in my new role, in my new journey. And Tabisang blessed me with the Jumpstart, right? And the beauty of the Jumpstart is the gist of looking at your wheel of life, right? Because at that time, for me, I was very strong in career-wise. I was doing very well. Spiritual-wise, I was doing very well. Financially, I think I was so-so. And the other areas were not really as balanced as they should have been. And I remember when I met Glenn, he would say, it's not about how big the wheel is, but how round the wheel is to balance everything. And at that time, I said to Tabisang, I've been doing well in corporate and I'm a manager now on a beautiful program to be groomed to become an executive. But I feel there's something missing. I don't know what it is. I think that is why she actually introduced me to Map for Life. And Map for Life has truly helped me to find my purpose. I mean, to also embrace the gifts that I have, that I believe God has gifted me with, being a teacher, being a leader. And at some point, I was not really embracing those leadership qualities and teaching qualities that I think I have. And going through Map for Life myself, it has inspired me to want to do, I've done the mastery program as well, to say, wow, I've experienced this and I'd love my clients to experience that as well. I'd love the people that I'm leading to experience that as well. Saying my clients, at that time I was doing part-time image consulting, services. And in my journey with Map for Life, finding my purpose, I've realized that, wow, I think I love this image consulting thing, maybe let me try do it full time. And I left corporate in 2011. I launched my image consulting services. In consulting with my clients, I realized that, there's more to also, journey with my image coaching of inner beauty with my clients. And this is where Map for Life came very handy, because I'm using Map for Life methodology for inner beauty with my clients, and of course, image consulting for outer beauty. And my aha moment when I launched my business, Map for Life has also helped me to have my mission statement for my business. And it reads as follows: I'd love to empower my clients to flourish inside out and in all areas of life, of course, using the wheel of life, right? And how do I do that? Through image consulting services, teaching, coaching, and mentorship using Map for Life methodology. And I remember when I met Glenn, my mission statement, if it was not more than 2 pages, it was just so long. And in our coaching with Glenn, he actually had helped me to structure my mission statement just to be short and sweet, but just tells you exactly what I'm doing under the umbrella of my business. That's just so phenomenal for me.
Wonderful. Gwadi, Glenn spoke about you planting churches. Would you like to just talk about planting the churches and how Map for Life has helped you there?
Thank you, Peter. No, Glenn, I think he likes me because we only planted 2 churches. I think one is Kinza East and one is in Mdatsane. So apparently, when we started those churches, really, it was before I met Glenn, so that in actual fact I can get all these techniques of Map for Life. But what I like with Map for Life as a tool, it's you cannot say that in actual fact it has arrived whilst the horses have already left the stable. But I think with that as it may, you can, for instance, I am able now to use it already in those two established. I think it's not me alone. I think we're two. That is my co-pastor. So at least the Map for Life, I can use the techniques, like for instance, even during the time, for instance, I think before COVID, we had to do some sort of a strategic planning session so that you can see what sort of programs we could embark on. The aim is that these days, when you talk about the church, let's not talk about the church in terms of just sitting there in the building. How does the church influence the surrounding community, the surrounding environment, so that you can make sure that it's contributing to, like, for instance, let's take for instance the church for instance we're having in Mdatsane. It's not let's say a traditional church. It's we're using a center where it's a child and youth center with about 72 kids, starting from 3 years to 18 years. So now is that type of a church, meaning that in actual fact our purpose there, we want to impact, I think, and equip the children from that 3 years up to 18, so that at least those children, when they are out in the world, after they've gone, maybe they've gone to university and all that, they can at least have the foundation. You can use those techniques, like what you should be knowing first of all, that these kids are coming from a disadvantaged environment. And for that matter, our mission, you cannot preach on hungry stomachs. First of all, what do you do in order to make sure that at least you are sustaining them whilst you are equipping and teaching them? So at Prince, for instance, if it's still there, it's not a big church as such, but you find that it's linked to, because my elder there and the deacon, they are running a educare center with about 35 kids. And now you find that at least, if you look at that, if we start to try and train the kids from those initial ages, so that at least by the time they grow up, at least they can have the principles of Map for Life, it will be easier for them, be easier to improve and get out of the informal settlements. Thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful. At what age do you start the kids on the Map for Life principles and methodology?
Well, as I was indicating, Peter, that it's not in actual fact, I think I've applied it formally in terms of training them, starting, I think, from all the steps. But I think in whatever program you are doing, like for instance, most of the time, because when you are dealing with kids, for instance, this is what I like, you don't preach to the kids, but with the kids, you have to teach them. So it helps to teach them. And then when you are teaching, you can implement these principles of Map for Life without indicating to people that now, well, we are implementing Map for Life now, but you know, or even to my colleague, for instance, I think he has got an idea, I introduced him to Map for Life, well, I think my co-pastor and my co-founder. But at the same time, in actual fact, you don't tell that now. Now we're dealing with Member for Life. And same applies, like other principles I was saying, that for instance, the get out of debt plan, it has helped us so that you know that you don't have personally, you run away from debt personally, you run away from debt as an institution, whether it's a church or whatever organization you are running. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Octavia, what are you really passionate about? And would you like to share with Gwaddy's just shared some of his passion with us? I'd like to hear your passion.
I couldn't agree with him more to say Map for Life methodology. You can actually use it anywhere, be it corporate, be it NGO, be it wherever. I think that's the beauty that I fell in love with the Map for Life tool, because I mean, in my training and coaching, I've worked with corporate, I could still use the Map for Life tool as well. What I'm passionate about, it's truly giving back, serving, of course, with a purpose. And what I've learned with Map for Life as well is whatever I do, you have to align it with your purpose. I mean, there was a time where, especially now, we're living in a digital season. You would watch what is happening on YouTube, what is happening on Instagram, what is happening on Facebook page, and you get inspired and you want to try too many things, And there was a time I thought I could do almost everything, and Map for Life has just brought me back to say, hey, align. What do you love? What you love to do? And like you say, Peter, my truly giving back, it's so dear to my heart. So whatever I do, it has to be to impact others. When Glenn said, the steps you perform, they have to be contagious, right? So whatever you do, you inspire others, and when you inspire others, they would come on board. And in my giving back journey, I mean, there are things that I never thought I would be able to do, but just because they are aligned with my purpose. And of course, when you know who's responsible for your purpose, you also comfortable to try almost everything, knowing that he will bring your tribe to journey with you. So my giving back journey, my teaching others, my mentorship, mentoring others has truly been amazing. And I remember saying to Glenn as we were unfolding, my purpose, to say there are things that I've been doing, informally, so coaching and mentoring. I never really knew that of course, in as much as you can end up making money out of coaching, but if the mission behind everything, it's not I'm making money, but I'm impacting, serving the need that is needed through coaching. And of course, the reward will be financial, so yeah.
Now you're talking about that, and you say the reward. What about eternity? Do you think that Map for Life sets you up for eternity?
Oh, it does. I remember in my very infant stages, engaging with Glenn, I said to Glenn, I would love to have the training material that I can use anywhere, especially the material that I would not have to compromise my values as a Christian. And I said to him, Glenn, when you go through Map for Life, you can just tell, the person behind this tool, he's very grounded to who the creator is. And I think it's a phenomenal tool that is biblically based as you go through it. And it also brings you closer. I remember there was a season when I had challenges in my life spiritually. I could not even pray. I could not even read the Bible. But Map for Life was my best friend. And one way or the other, the principles will take me back to connect with the Bible and go back to my Bible study. I couldn't say it better. It is an amazing tool that also connects one way or the other. It keeps you grounded to who your creator is, and also the mandate that we have, because really when you speak about your mandate, your mission statement, your purpose, surely you've got to know who is the giver of that purpose, and it can only be God, right?
Wonderful, wonderful. And Gwadi, would you like to just talk on that subject? Add something to what Octavia said?
Yes, yes, Peter. I think before I go there, I just want to briefly to share my second passion, because first and
Please.
foremost, as I was saying, that is the church, and then my second passion is the good corporate governance, because
Yes.
because I am I'm a former public servant, and then as a public servant, in those years when I left in 2015, I was involved in local government, developmental local government, because the reason why I'm having passion, because local government is dealing with municipalities. Municipalities are what are close to the people. Those are the structures which are close to the people. Because the reason why I'm passionate about it is that when you watch TV, you see how people are complaining about services. Maybe the services, they are not getting the proper services due to this and that and that. So it's another area I'm very passionate about it. Hence, even now, although I left the government in 2015, I think my passion was to serve in audit committees.
Yes.
So that I can see how I could contribute, even indirectly, in these municipalities. I know I cannot cover all the more than 250 municipalities in South Africa, but at least those I'm serving in them, so that I can see that after a 3-year contract, or perhaps 3-year time when I'm there serving during that duration, what impact we have done as the team and all that. So it's an area where I'm very passionate about it, and also, at least if that could be right, because the reason why I'm saying that, because if you look at the First Timothy, for instance, First Timothy chapter 2, our Creator would like us to live peacefully.
Yes.
So when you read that, is to live peacefully. You cannot live peacefully if you are lacking services, basic services like water,
Yes. Yes.
basic services like refuse removal. For me, those are some of the things, because I don't want only to, when I'm talking about the church being at the body of Christ, I'm only talking about only just raising hands, worshiping and all that. What also the practical impact, because I think it's going to that to that presentation of Glenn, where he said that you must paint a picture. Meaning, when you paint a picture, you must be practical. How do you contribute so that you turn around? Because there are people who are in informal settlements. Hence, you find that when I'm in Trinsa, that's informal settlement where we are in Trinsa.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are we just going to get inside the education center and raise hands, say hallelujah, and then we go out? What impact are we doing? So those are sort of the things. How to encourage, not to say that you come with the money. You can encourage people to say that, okay, fine, let's try and, like, for instance, to find that the leadership there has managed now to get a sponsor, not necessarily through me, but to build a proper structure, so that that structure, in actual fact, can make sure that, because those kids, when are coming from there, for instance, there's already a private school which is funded. In that private school, you get children coming from informal settlements. So that's a sort of a contribution which is very important. And apparently, in our structures, in terms of the government structures like municipalities, that's why I say that good corporate government is good with ethical leadership.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
the issue with the eternity, I think I agree. I think with my sister there, that at least whatever we're doing, we must know that we have got a creator somewhere. As at the end, Glenn indicated that that creator, whatever you call him, at the end of the day, will say that, well done, good and faithful servant. This is what we
Yeah.
do at the end of the day.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I think, Igwani, you've painted a wonderful picture. And I think I'd like to just leave with the people, and that we would want to use our maps to make a purposeful difference. And my thought as we close tonight is just to say, well, let's proceed with passion, but let's take action and let's do it now. So good night to you all out there, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Good night all. And thank you, panel.
Good night.
Today, for me, today for you, today for each of us, is an opportunity and an invitation to step into a world of abundance where your life matters, where your vision makes a difference, where the world will know that once upon a time in the past there was a man or a woman who rose to the calling of God in their life and made the impact that they were designed to make. And you have that ability. Just die to self, surrender to Him, and become significant. I couldn't be more excited for you. I could not be more excited about the future, because every person that you equip to take that step of putting a plan together for their life, a plan that is aligned with the desires of their heart, those people, those children, young and old, are going to come alive, and they're going to cause a ripple that goes through time that impacts the lives of others. Make the choice today to live a life of significance.